want to talk about the last episode of Mama June, but before I touch on that, I do want to cover a few things. First, starting off with Pumpkin's current boyfriend, Darren. I was under the assumption that Darren was Josh's cousin, and that's the information I've been sharing because that's the information I've heard before. Well, I guess, according to the Mama June Family Tea page, check out their page on TikTok. They have a treasure trove of tea on Mama June and the whole family. And they said to clear up some confusion, Sugar Bear's mom and Darren and Josh's grandma was sisters. So that makes Alana blood related to Darren, and she is not blood related to Josh. So he is related to Sugar Bear and Darren by marriage, but they're still technically down here in the South related because Josh was raised as part of the family. So I guess Josh was raised by somebody who's related to Darren, but they're not actually related to Josh. I think I'm saying that right. So they're not blood cousins, but if you want to get technical, Alana is blood related to Darren. I don't know what you want to consider that, like half cousins or what, but that's how Darren got the nickname Cusbin. And I think either way, it's still a little weird. And what really got me recently is on Father's Day, Pumpkin shared some recognition to Darren. She said, "Happy Father's Day to our Mr. Fix-It-All, from stepping in and helping raise four extra kids with no questions asked, to putting up all our outside projects, being our personal mechanic, to showing up every single time for me and the kids. The hard work you continuously put into yourself, and for providing for us, and most importantly, for loving us. Forever grateful for you and all that you do for us. We love you so much, and we couldn't have picked a better dad/bonus dad for all of our little ones." And I'm like, okay, if he stepped up, I guess he deserves to be recognized. But I just don't understand why Josh doesn't get recognition, because he's with the kids 50% of the time. I mean, I really feel like their beef goes deeper than they're really leading on. I mean, she's been posting TikToks where she's like singing songs, like talking about, "I don't give a damn about how much you're hurt," especially after all the BS that they put her through. And it just sounds like a lot of songs she's singing, throwing subtle shade towards her situation with Josh, and it really sounds like there is a lot more beef there than she's really leading on at the end of the day. Now let's talk about this last episode. So June ended up going to court for Caitlyn, and she ended up winning custody. So congratulations to her. It ended up going a lot smoother than she planned. And then afterwards, they all went out and had dinner to celebrate. And then while they're eating dinner, June started telling Pumpkin, "Yeah, I'm going to start shopping for a new house so you can move in with the kids." And Pumpkin, she's like, "I don't know where the hell she's getting I'm going to move in with the kids. I would never move in with her." And she's just sticking her nose up to the ceiling. And it's like, okay, woman, you're the one who was just saying in the last episode to June that you might have to move in with the kids. I remember that conversation vividly. So don't sit there and act all funny now. That's the one thing I don't like about this show, is how they're always acting like they got something wrong with the other person, but then behind the scenes, when the cameras aren't rolling, they're all besties and they all get along perfectly fine. So then we see Pumpkin pull up on Josh at the house with the kids, and the kids were sleeping, and Pumpkin asked Josh if he wanted to meet her for coffee. So he's like, okay. So he went and met up with her, and she's like, "Yeah, I want to meet up with you because I want to go see a lawyer and get the ball rolling on this divorce." And Josh is still a little shocked. I think he is still holding on a hope that this marriage may somehow be reconcilable, but Pumpkin has already moved on in her head. She is done with this marriage, and she said she has made her mind up, and she's not trying to waste no time. She's trying to get divorced like tomorrow if she could. So Josh agreed, but she's like, the thing is, the more we agree about things, the easier it's going to be for both of us, and the less money it's going to cost for the both of us. The more problems and fighting there is, and the longer it gets dragged out, it's just going to cost both of us more money. So let's go ahead and agree on what we want with the children. Josh was super easy to deal with, and I almost wonder if he would have been that easy to deal with if the cameras weren't rolling, because everything Pumpkin was bringing up, he was agreeing with. She's like, I think we should do 50-50 custody. That way neither one of us has to pay the other child support. And let's be honest, with that many kids, I don't think either one of them could handle full custody 100% of the time, or like every other weekend. I think it'd be the best balance with what they're doing now, 1 week with Pumpkin, then 1 week with Josh. And then they agree that Josh is going to move out and Pumpkin's going to keep the house. Pumpkin did offer Josh to keep the house, and Josh was like, no, I want to move out because I don't want to look at all those memories. And she got lucky, because there's a lot of dudes who'll be hard-headed and be like, oh, hell no, I'm not moving out until you make me. But it's got so bad and uncomfortable at home that Josh would rather be anywhere but there. And I think that says a lot. So they agree on that. And they decide to go see the lawyer. So they go pull up on the lawyer. And the lawyer was like, okay, so what do you want to do with custody? And they both told on the custody plan. And then they agreed on Josh is going to be moving out. Pumpkin's going to keep the house. They have separate bank accounts. They have separate cars. And everything else is separate. So the rest of the marriage is going to be pretty simple. But the lawyer said, regardless of how good of terms they may be on now, they need to come to some sort of agreement on who is going to have the last say-so if some kind of emergency happens, or if they have to make a big decision. Like, say Pumpkin gets a job offer and she needs to move to another state, and she wants to move the kids to another state, there's got to be one parent that has the final say-so, so they just don't go around in circles arguing back and forth forever. And Josh was easy to work with. He agreed that Pumpkin should be the one to have the last say-so. He trusts her skills as a mother and her decision-making. Really, Pumpkin doesn't realize how easy she has it, because most divorces are not this easy whatsoever. She may have to deal with him and his little attitude here and there, but besides that, he's being completely agreeable when it comes to everything. So the lawyer was like, okay, I'm going to write this up and I'm going to send it to the courts and we're going to see what we can do. She said typically they may not go with everything 100% as requested, but I did see the paperwork after the divorce. I did cover it in one of my videos. I bought the court paperwork, and you guys can go and look at that old video if you want to. But pretty much what they requested is exactly what they ended up getting granted at the end of the day. They ended up looking into their finances. They're both making $20,000 a month. And I wonder if Josh is still making that much money since he's not with Pumpkin anymore. Like, is he still going to be on the show in the long run and be like a paid cast member? I hope he don't fully go away. Like, I still hope we get updates from him here and there. Like, I feel like we're still going to see him, but I just don't know if he's going to be as big of a part on the show anymore. I feel like he's slowly just going to be replaced by Darren. And I feel like once Darren comes in the picture, we're probably going to see a lot less of Josh on the show. Really, there wasn't much else that went on in this episode. June decided she wanted to go look for a big house, and they show her old house she had that she sold back when she was on crack because she was broke and she needed money for drugs, and she sold this house for way less than she bought it for and lost money off of it. She said, yeah, my budget's $2,500 and I know I can get a house like my old house for $2,500 a month. I'm like, woman, when was the last time you went looking for houses? Because maybe back then in your crack days, but if you look in today's market, there is no way in hell you're going to get that same house for that price. Like, I was thinking as soon as she showed that house, I'm like, that house is at least going to be $3,300, maybe $3,000 minimum to get into. And even that seems like on the cheap end for a house like that. So they go looking at houses, and of course, just like I thought, the houses were more expensive than she thought. She was finding houses that, like, the first house seemed bigger than her first house. The second house wasn't as big, but it was on a lake. But both of the houses were way over budget. Like, the first house was like $3,500 and the second house was like $3,000 or $3,200. But they're big, nice houses. But honestly, I'm just like annoyed with this whole scene because I'm like, okay, I feel like WeTV's playing us and just desperate. for content at this point, because Mama June, she's been going live and she's in the same house. Or the house looks at least close to what she was living in before. It doesn't look like she upgraded to any of these fancy houses. And I just don't see her moving into any of these houses anytime soon, especially since she still has to pay child support monthly for Alana, I'm pretty sure, while she's in college. I don't know, but like I said, I just feel like they're doing this for the show. I don't see her getting an extravagant house like this anytime soon. I just think they're getting that poor little girl all excited for nothing, and they're probably going to end up getting like another little 2-3 bedroom house or trailer out in the country again. But that's pretty much it, guys. And I guess Alana and Draylon are going to have a birthday party for Alana, and Alana and Anna share the same birthday. So Alana wants to have like a 2-in-1 birthday party and like kind of like a little memorial birthday party for Anna. And they're thinking about like releasing does and all kinds of stuff at this park. So Lana decided to invite her mom and Pumpkin out to Colorado. So I guess we're going to see that in one of the coming episodes. Then on next week's episode, we're finally going to see Pumpkin and Josh tell Ella that they're getting a divorce. And that's going to be hard to watch, man. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.